Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Elevate Your Soul podcast. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the different relationship styles because I feel that we need to be educated on them because not very many people know what these weird terms mean, such as polygamy or polyamory or whatever. You know, people kind of just go, oh yeah, and they nod their head, but they don't really know what it means. And I feel passion towards educating people on the different relationship styles because it's also good for everyone to know, because most people just know about monogamy because that is religion-based and was created many years and decades ago, and it is the most socially acceptable way of relationships. So that's what most of us are educated on, and that's what we see in day-to-day life, and that's how we're brought up. And a lot of us aren't even aware that there are other ethical ways of how to have in a relationship and how to be in a relationship with other people. And before I start describing the different types of relationships, I have to say first and foremost, this episode is not about trying to convince anyone to be a different way or change them in any way. And I am not promoting one style of relationship over another. I believe that all relationship styles are absolutely fine, and I don't have anything against them. They are all equal, and you can learn and grow in every style of relationship you choose, other than cheating, of course. That one's not cool. But other than that, if you're being honest and open and both parties or multiple parties are getting what they're wanting in the relationship and everyone's happy and everyone's honest and everyone feels comfortable with each other, then there is absolutely no problem with that. So I am all for everyone being able to learn about the different relationship styles and then choosing which one works for them best momentarily as well, because sometimes we will go through different phases in life, and sometimes we are just out of high school and just entering college and we want one thing, and another person values another thing at that same stage in their life differently, and we all go through different phases, different stages of life, and I think that's completely healthy and completely normal to change as you grow and change as you evolve. And if you're someone like me who loves trying new things and wants to explore and try every single thing there is in life, then I also think there's no harm in trying out the different relationship styles there are and seeing which one works best for you. Because how can you really have an opinion about a relationship style and which one works best if you haven't done all of them? So these people who are preaching that non-monogamy is the best or monogamy is the best, I'm actually not for that at all. Even if they have tried all the relationship styles themselves, cool, that's what works for you, that's what works for them best, but that's not necessarily going to work best for everyone. So we are all different, uniquely built human beings, and one relationship style might work better for us than another, and at different phases through life. So, in saying all that, I will go over the main two different relationship styles are monogamy and non-monogamy. And under non-monogamy, there are a lot of different sections and titles for how to have a non-monogamous relationship, such as swingers, open relationships, polyamorous relationships, and polygamy. And now tying monogamy and polygamy together, these are the two most socially acceptable relationship styles in the world today because they are based on religion, and they were made years and years ago from religion. And all these new ones, such as swingers, open relationships, and polyamory, are new, and they are not religion-based. So these ones are less socially acceptable and also less heard of. And then, of course, there is cheating, which branches off to non-monogamy, but in a sense, cheating happens a lot in non-monogamy, but in also monogamous relationships. So cheating is the one we want to avoid. We don't want to lie. We don't want to betray. We don't want to stab anyone in the back. But in saying that, I don't have anything against people who are cheaters, because I feel like when people admit they have cheated in the past or they are cheating now or whatever, people just hate on them. And that is exactly the opposite what a person who is cheating needs. A person who is cheating because they are not fulfilled in life and something is missing. Something is missing in their life, and usually it's self-love. And for someone to shame and hate on someone else because they're cheating will perpetuate them to cheat even more and lie even more, and it just becomes this nasty cycle. So if someone in your life you know is cheating, don't hate on them. Don't send them negative energy or negative vibes just because you know this about them. Because the majority of people in the Western society have cheated on someone once, whether someone else knows about it or not. So for you to hate on someone who has cheated in the past, don't do that. They have been going through a rough time in their life, so they don't need any more hate. They need just more love and acceptance, really. But I do have something against the actual act of cheating, because lying to someone behind their back is never a good thing, and I'm not a fan of that. So in saying that, I'm pretty sure you guys know what monogamy is. It's when two partners love each other and they show emotional love and connection with each other, as well as sexual, physical love and connection with each other. And they are not doing that with anybody else. So it's just the two of them, and no matter what else happens in life, or whoever else they meet, they are tied between the two of them. And that is an agreement to stay monogamous. And then there is non-monogamy. So there are swingers relationships, and these are couples who like to meet other couples and swap partners, whether it be for a night or a continuous thing or just a one-off, just whatever works for them. So it's the two of them going together and having this experience at the same time, almost like together. They're in it together. They're having this moment of variety and something different together. So they're swapping partners, and then they go back, obviously, to their original partners. And then there are open relationships, and these are people who are mainly together as primary partners, and then the two of them are able to go off. And usually in open relationships, it means that they are allowed to be physically and sexually intimate with other people. And sometimes they agree that whatever happens outside of their relationship, they keep to themselves and they don't want to know about what's going on. And sometimes they want to know what's going on. So when one partner goes to a party and they end up making out with someone or sleeping with someone, the other partner will want to know about it when they reunite and they see each other again. So these are open relationships. They usually are quite heavily involved. Two people are heavily involved with each other, and then the two of them can go off, but it's never too much of an emotional connection with other people. It's more just sexually and physically based. And then there is polyamorous relationships, which in this style of relationships, you can get emotionally and mentally and spiritually connected with another human being outside of the relationship you have ongoing with someone else. So polyamorous relationships can look absolutely and completely different in every single polyamorous relationship. Sometimes there's 3 people involved, sometimes there's 8 people involved. Whatever the case may be, all it means is, the easiest way of putting it is, it's like you're in a monogamous relationship with one person, but instead of one person, you can have more than one, and that might be 2, and that might be 3, and that might be 4, or whatever floats your boat. And even if you're dating 2 people, then those 2 different people might be monogamous with you, or they might be open with you, or they might be swingers with you, or they might be polyamorous with you. So there's so many different ways of going about this relationship, and that this is the one that confuses people the most, is polyamorous relationships. People always ask me, what is a polyamory? What is it? And it's hard to sum it all up in one, because every single polyamorous relationship will look completely different. And in a polyamorous relationship, when there are, say, 6 people involved, they could all be in a relationship with each other, and all share the bedroom at the same time, or maybe not the bedroom, but a house together, and they could all, live together or whatever. Or if there's 6 people involved, each individual could just have one separate relationship with the other. So it would be almost like a monogamous relationship, like 2 people together, and then one of those people have one other relationship just with one other person, and that one person has one other relationship with the other one person. Or it can be totally different as well. There might be 3 out of the 6 people who are all in a relationship with each other, and then there might be the other 3 on individual relationships. So polyamorous relationships just can look completely different. And that's why when someone says they're in a polyamorous relationship, it's a really good idea to ask them, if you're interested, of course, what their polyamorous relationship looks like or what it is like, because it is a very broad term, polyamory, and you really can't know what someone's relationship is like if they just say they're polyamorous. And polyamorous relationships are also completely different from each person because you can be in a closed polyamorous relationship, which just means that each individual partner isn't open to finding a new partner to add to the relationships that there already are. Or there can be an open polyamorous relationship, which means that they are open to potentially seeing other people or meeting new partners. But at the core, polyamory just means you are allowed having more than one lover, because poly means more than one and amorous means love. So you're sharing that love around and it's not contained for just one person. And then the other part of non-monogamy, there's another style called polygamy. And this one is religiously based and socially acceptable in quite a lot of places around the world. And this is when the husband, has more than one wife and they get married to multiple wives, and he can have kids with her, and this is socially acceptable. But in polygamy, the woman never has more than one husband. She will have one husband. She will be monogamous and devoted to him, and he can have as many wives as he wants. And I have to mention this one as well. Actually, I wasn't going to, but now I want to mention it. A very, very small percentage in the world, there is a relationship style that falls under ethical non-monogamy and is called polyandry. And this is kind of the opposite of polygamy. It is not religiously based, though. Polyandry is when a woman has multiple husbands. Yes, ladies, it is when one woman has multiple husbands and they are all devoted and monogamous to her. So now you guys have it. Those are the most common forms of having a relationship: monogamy and non-monogamy. Once again, there are swingers, open relationships, polyamory, polygamy, and polyandry, and monogamy and polygamy being the religious-based ones. So they are very socially acceptable. So for anyone else who wants to try out these other relationship styles, be prepared. They are not as socially acceptable as the others, but people these days are evolving and growing and becoming more and more acceptable. So it's really good to step out of your comfort zone and try out the different things, especially while you're young and you want to explore and try new things. I'd say go for it. Personally, I am in a polyamorous relationship right now in my life, and this is what works for me. And the reason why it works for me is because I only knew about monogamy up until I was about 24 or 25 years old. So pretty much most of my life, that's all I knew. And when I broke up with my partner, my long-term partner that I was dating for 5 years, I realized that I wanted to experience the complete opposite of that. Not only because I'm someone who just loves variety and loves to try everything out before I make a concrete opinion on it, but it was also because that relationship was pretty toxic and I had a lot of sides of me that I had no idea existed that were brought out in that toxic relationship. I was super possessive, super obsessive, super clingy, and it was very, very unhealthy. So I wanted to explore that side of me and really challenge that side of me to get that side of me out, because I didn't really enjoy it. So when I came out of this toxic relationship, this monogamous one for 5 years, which I ended up cheating and he ended up cheating. So it was a fucking messy relationship. But when I came out of it, I said, I want to explore something like completely polar opposite. So I wanted to date a girl because the previous relationship was with a man, and I wanted to date multiple girls and not have anything monogamous and not have anything really serious like my last one was. I just wanted the full swing, the full polar opposite. So I didn't choose to be in a polyamorous relationship because I'm not the type of person to get jealous, or because I've dealt with all my insecurities and I'm no longer an insecure person, or because I want to go around fucking everybody that I can. It was actually because I do have a lot of insecurities, and I didn't realize how insecure and how jealous and possessive and obsessive I was until I had my last relationship. So I want to face those insecurities and I want to deal with them because those were developed at a very, very young age, and I want to conquer them, and I want to master compersion. And compersion means being happy for someone else's happiness. And in saying that, being happy for someone else feeling pleasure, because pleasure will bring them happiness. So it's being happy for someone else feeling pleasure, and that can be in a sexual way or a non-sexual way. But compersion means being happy for someone else's happiness. And ultimately, I believe that that's what we should be striving for in relationships, in whatever type of relationship you choose to be in. You should be happy for your other partner's happiness, and you should support them in their happiness. So I am putting this to the test, and I'm being in a polyamorous relationship so that I can learn to deal with my insecurities and with my issues around jealousy and all that, and truly, unconditionally be supportive of my partner's happiness. And once I master that, I might end up staying in a polyamorous relationship and I might love it, or I might go back in a monogamous relationship. But through this experience, I believe it'll make me a better, more supportive lover. And yeah, so when I finally discovered the other terms of non-monogamy, I really, really loved it. And then the more I researched it and the more I talked about it, the more I realized that I'm not the only one wanting to do this in life, and that there are a lot of other people out there who are ethically non-monogamous, and everyone they're dating and themselves are really, really happy. And I really wanted to try that. And out of all the non-monogamy types of relationships, I ended up steering more towards polyamory, and that's the one that just felt right for me right now in this moment of time, and that could change next month or next year. So I'm just making an example of listening to where I'm at in life and allowing myself to make the decision of what fits me best in my life right now. And right now, that's polyamory. And I'm sure that'll change one day. And if it doesn't, I'm also happy with that. Because for me, my goal is happiness. And I'm not trying to chase happiness with what I think it's going to look like. I just want to be happy. And whatever that ends up looking like, I'm happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you on the next episode. I hope you all have an amazing week. Love you. Mwah. So I didn't choose polyamory because I'm not the type of purse. Yes, that's me. I'm a purse.